Hello friends, today I am going to show you how to create an Android application using Android Studio. It's a very basic application of adding two numbers. So let's start the application. So start new Android Studio project, just click on it and wait for some time. So you will get a window to create a new project. So give your application name as addition and company domain. If you are working under a company, please give com dot your company name dot and the project whatever you're going to work on and click next. So it's asking for you phone and tablet. You please give phone and tablet because we are going to create application which can run on phone or tablet and the minimum SDK. So today we are having phones which run on at least Jelly Bean. Nobody is using below Jelly Bean now. So we can give ice cream sandwich because nobody is using less than ice cream sandwich today. Please give next. So for our application we need only a blank activity because we are going to perform addition of just two numbers. So we don't have anything to do with the other activities. So just select the blank activity and give next. Here we have the activity name and layout name. When you are creating a big project, you may be confused with the layouts and the Java files you have. But for now we are having only one activity. So you don't need to give any names for that. If you want you can give. I am going to leave it as the default. So click finish, and after you are clicking finish, please be patient because Android Studio takes some time to create the project. Even my RAM is 4 GB, then even it takes more time, so please be patient. So let's start to continue with the project. You will get a window something like this, and this is the environment in which we are going to work on it. It will take some time to render the user interface, and this is the XML file where you create your user interface, and this is the main activity.java where you will have the Java coding according to which your application is running. So let's create the user interface first. It says there is some rendering problem. So rendering problem actually happens due to the Android versions. Just go and change the Android version here and it will be alright. It's a common error we all face and you don't need to worry about that. It will be cleared very soonly. So here we have the Windows Hello World. So you just delete it. Press delete button to delete it. Then we need two text boxes to get the two inputs and a button to make it calculate and a text view. So first I'll put a text view here, but before doing a text view, this is actually a linear layout, but it's very tough to work in a linear layout, so we can have some other layouts here. I choose linear layout because linear layout is very easy to manage. So we have given a linear layout here. So first take a large text, place it here. You have many options to change the text values of this large text. I can show you one by one. First of all, you can do it by double clicking on it. The text will appear. Here you can give first input. You can here do so and give a text box, a plain text to get the input. Just place it below this. You are done with that. Then you just go to the plain text view. I am using larger view. Place it under this. So now I will show you another way of doing it. Just go to the text where the coding for the XML will be here. You have two parts here, design and text. This will have the graphical interface and this will have the XML part where you work on. This is the text view 2. So please note it, text view 2. Here you just go for the tag where you have text view 2. The ID shows is text view 2 and the text is large text. You can change it here. Second input, and once you are done with that, it automatically changes to second input. Place another text box for getting the second input, and I'll place a button, so when you click on the button, automatically the calculation is done. I'll extend it, and you can change the button text to addition. After that, let me show you the result in a text view itself. So please place a text view here, and let me change it to your answer is. Yeah, we are done with it. So I think our user interface part is over. Now I'm not concentrating much on user interface, as many of you may learn the basics now, so I don't want you to make it more complex. You just leave it as it is, but just please note the IDs of each and everyone. For this you have edit text, and for this you have edit text 2, this you have button, and this is text view 3. These IDs we are going to use it in the Java part, so we can map it here. So let's work on the Java part. In the Java part, you have to start working on create, because this is the method which starts execute once your activity is created. So first of all, let me declare the things which you are going to use inside. We will use edit text to get the inputs. So I am using edit text txt1 and txt2. So hope you all know Java. In Java we need to import what we are using. So Eclipse, if you are using Eclipse, you can do so by hovering over it, that means using the mouse over it. But Android Studio gives a very easy option of using Alt plus Enter. Once you give Alt plus Enter, it automatically imports there. I hope you guys have seen it. And we are using another button, so use button B. So please do the same, Alt plus Enter, and you give text view. You will have the options under when you type it. You can use it because it reduces your spelling mistakes, because you see in edit text and text view, T and V, E and T are in caps. So text view I am going to use only on text view, so I am using T1. So next we have to map this when you are using it. But I think for a good programmer, you must use the naming convention very properly. As this is a basic application, I am just using txt1, txt2. So let us map it. First I will map the two edit text in which you are going to get the input. So txt1 equal to edit text find view by ID. These are the resources. R is the resources where everything is placed. R dot ID, because you are going to use the elements ID to map it. Dot whichever thing, that is the element you are going to map it here. We are going to map the first element, that is edit text. The edit text I shown you there. I asked you to note down the IDs. It is there. Please take it. And txt2, the same thing. Edit text find view by ID, R resources, R dot ID dot edit text 2. It's here. So it's over. Next you are going to map the button. Do the same here. Find view by ID, resources, R dot ID dot, the buttons one is button, so you just give B and select it, button. And then you just map the text view in which you are going to display your answer. Text 1 equal to text view find view by ID, resources dot ID dot text view 3. I shown you text view 3 because the first and second text views will show first input and second input. Hope you guys remember, or you can just take the video back and please take a look at it. And we want to do the calculation once the button is clicked, so we will give a listener to the button. The button variable is button, so you use button dot, we are going to use the method set on click listener. In the set on click listener, we are going to create a new view. So new view dot on click listener, it creates you a method like this. Inside this we are going to work on it. So first we will get the inputs from the user. So I will use the float class because you may add two integers or two float, whatever it may be. So I am using a float class, float f1 comma f2. So I'll get the input like this. f2 is equal to float dot pairs float. The reason I am using pairs float is whatever input you are getting from the text view, it will be taken as a string, so you must convert the string into a float. So I am using pairs float. Inside the pairs float, just pass the string what you are going to get. So we have txt1 as the first text box. So txt1 dot get text dot toString. So this will get the input from the user, and this pairs float will convert it to a float number and it will store in f2. Sorry, just use f1 here, and do the same for f2. f2 is equal to float dot parse float. Inside the parse float, get the second input. Yeah, you're done with that. So have another float variable in which you are going to get the output. f3 is equal to f1 plus f2. We are done with that. But as a good programmer, you must concentrate on all the directions. So I'll tell you whenever your app crashes. When the app crashes is first thing when you leave the text box is empty. So I am going to check whether the text box is empty or not. So I want to check it before I get the output. So before getting the input from the user, I'll check it using if. If my text box 1 is empty or 2 is empty, text1 dot get text dot toString, you have a method to check is empty. Use is empty and use a or condition, because if any one of the input box is empty, your app should not run. So empty, and give text view 2 the same dot get text dot toString dot is empty. So we are done with that. If any one of the text box is empty, you just show a message that the text box is empty, please enter values. So I am using toast. Hope you guys know toast. If you don't know toast, you can refer the other tutorials in YouTube how to use toast, but I hope it's very simple. Toast dot make text. So the first argument is get application context, and comma whatever the thing you are going to show to the users. Now I am going to say please don't leave fields empty. And the third argument is how much long time you are going to show it. So toast offers you two types, toast dot length long or length short. I'll use length long, and it's not over with that, you have to show the toast. So dot show. That's it, you are done with that. And after showing the toast, your app will crash, so you must perform return, so your activity will not collapse and stand as it is. So after doing this, If both the fields are not empty, we are performing the addition, and it's time to show our output to the user. I'm using the text view, so text1 dot set text. It's used to set a text, and already we are having your answer is, so let's type it again. Your answer is, and we are adding the answer, that is f3 dot toString. So it will display it as a string, and it's very important. So I hope we are done with that, and let me run the project now. So here's the symbol of run. Please click this to run the project, and before that you check if there is any error in your user interface layout or in the Java class. Click run. So the Gradle will take some time to build the app and run. So in the meantime, I'll say you something. I'm using BlueStacks. Hope you all know BlueStacks. I'm using BlueStacks to run the app because in my laptop the virtual machine for Android is very slow, or you can also use the virtual machines for Android. It's always advisable, but due to lack of time I'm using BlueStacks. But I advise you to take up the virtual devices. Here is the AVD manager. Inside this you can go and create your virtual devices, and you can use the virtual devices to run your app, but I am testing it in the BlueStacks. So please be patient until your Gradle builds and make your app ready. I hope the Gradle has finished its build, and it will ask you to choose the device in which you want to run. Here is the emulator, that is the Android virtual device. I have a device called First, but as it takes a long time, I'll choose the emulator Unknown Android 4.4.2. This is my BlueStacks and it's online, so I will use my BlueStacks to run this app. Click OK, and please wait for some minutes. So it just installs it on your BlueStacks and take you to run the app. Just wait for some minutes. It doesn't take too long time like the Gradle build. So your app is installed. It is showing addition has been installed. So just wait, it will automatically show up your app. So here you go with your app, the first input, second input. As I told you already, without specifying any input, if you click addition, it will show you, please don't leave fields empty. This is the toast, and if you do not perform this check, your app may crash. And now I am checking. And it displays your answer. So this is a simple app using Android. I expect your feedbacks on this video, and if you have any doubts, feel free to ask it here. Thank you for watching.